He made them chase him. So all this is just Pharaoh. All this is just Pharaoh being harder than man. Just like the Lord said, nothing new under the sun. So the same thing he did to Pharaoh, in the same way he made Pharaoh's heart, whatever kind of, if he uses magicians, because look, he could have used his magi, man. Because now we got to read the scriptures where it says what Moses went against not Pharaoh but Pharaoh and his magicians, right? And we know in the scriptures that the Lord said he can be what? He said what? Who shall I send?
Yep.
If you want to grab that, you can too, bro.
Yep. So I got.
God, but that's showing you that the Lord can use them same magi to because what Moses would do a miracle and then the magi would do a miracle. Moses would do a miracle and then magi would do a miracle. Because you seen a lot of all that was taking place was Moses' power versus the so-called Pharaoh's power, man. All right, that's what you seen was happening.
Okay, Exodus 7 and 11. Exodus 7 and 11 says, but also in 10 says, and Moses and Aaron went in of Pharaoh, and they did so as Yahweh commanded, and Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh and before his servants, and it did be and it became serpent. Then Pharaoh also called his wise men and his sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. But Aaron's rod swallowed up their rod.
See, so they did it accordingly. So Pharaoh called his magicians in, just like Esau, when he sees us doing what we're doing. What do you think Esau's doing? What did Pharaoh do when Moses started committing miracles? He ran to his magicians. So why do you think what Vocab, all these other guys, that's nothing but Esau running to his magi? That's Vocab a low level magi because he was called by the elites, man. You know,
Right.
If not the elites, lower people that's under him, under that umbrella. So they run to the magi and say, okay, bring somebody in here to deal with these guys, and that's what the magi were doing to Moses. Moses would do something to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh would reach out to his magicians and say, hey, come in, do something greater, because everybody would pay attention. Moses had clout. Moses wasn't a normal Israelite. If Moses was a normal Israelite, was raised in the ranks of the Hebrews, and he came into that stead, he wouldn't have that clout. All they would do is just kill him.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? If he caused that much problems, he would just be, they would do something to Moses, expel him, something, because he would be in the ranks of a slave. But the difference between how the Lord was so cold, why Moses had that authority to dictate what's it called, a audience with the Pharaoh, is because he was raised in the Pharaoh's house, man. No matter if Moses, it's just like a rich kid committing a crime and then he run off and then he come back home with a full beard. Moses came back to a place where he was grown up to. He grew up with, man.
Yeah.
So just like it says, a prophet is not received in his own house.
Yeah.
So Moses, that's how Moses was able to sit there and say, okay, Magi, and you don't think, hey, Moses had to be familiar with the Magi because he was raised in the house of Pharaoh. So Moses himself knew it wasn't magic.
Exactly.
I mean, because was he not raised in the house of Pharaoh?
He was.
So he would have been taught of everything in the house of, because Pharaoh called them magicians. So they're his advisors. So Moses was schooled on those false practices and those that dogma. But he was also educated with the Hebrew customs also.
Right.
You know? And it says of therefore dust. So yeah, the snakes, he did the same thing. So when Aaron threw down the rod, it did the same thing. The magicians did the same thing Aaron's rod did. But what was the difference? The snake ate, because why is that? Because do you know snakes eat other snakes?
Yep.
Let me show something real quick. We around Missouri, bro. You gotta know this. Check this out. Do you know we live around an area where a lot of black snakes live, right? But they also have a lot of copperheads, or they eat certain poisonous snakes. So if you see a black snake around, you want to keep the black snakes, because the black snakes eat the poisonous snakes.
Exactly.
Look.
Oh, and it also said there was enchantments, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now it said what? No, it said no enchantments against Jacob. So Pharaoh's his sorcerers and musicians, they couldn't do nothing against Moses' rod anyway.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. See, you see here, right here. You see a black snake eating a other poisonous snake.
Yeah.
So that happens, man. Snakes eat each other, man. So what you saw when the Lord had Aaron throw his rod down and the snakes came up, because those other snakes were, how you say, they couldn't hold the rod, they couldn't hold the candle to the other snake, man. The other snake ate that other snake. Just like you see here, man. Other snakes eat other snakes, so it's possible. So whatever took place in Pharaoh's in court took place, man.
Exactly.
We have proof of it right here. Google has how much proof? That's why it says knowledge shall run to and fro. We have all this proof of snakes eating other snakes. So it's not some big mystical thing that took place. It was just that's how it went down. If you want to keep reading, go ahead, bro.
Okay. And he hardened Pharaoh's heart. He hearkened not that he hearkened not unto them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. He refuses to let them come. He refuses to let the people go. Right? He said, get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning. Lo, he goeth out unto the water, and thou shalt stand by the river's bank, about the river's brink against he comes. And the rod which was turned into a serpent, thou shalt take in thine hand, and thou shalt say unto him, Yahweh power of the Hebrews hath sent me unto thee, and let my people go, for they may serve me in the wilderness.
And that's what we telling Esau, man. That's what we telling Esau. We telling the whole world, man. We telling the whole world, let us go. We don't belong to you. We're not your, because these other nations. That's why it says in Deuteronomy, it tells you that these other nations are what, making money off of us, man. It tells you that in the story of Lazarus, that these heathens, these dogs, they lick our wounds, man. So we're telling the whole world the time of making money off of us, biting off of our style, taking what we invent, you know, everything because the world wouldn't be, I'm gonna say it, the world wouldn't be what it would be if it was not for Jake, man. So the whole world owes to the Israelites through the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, man. And that's facts, bro. That's facts, man. What nation has not benefited off of us being there?
Right. Because we maybe, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Right. And what nations they have gotten rich off Jacob. So the reason why they won't let us go is because they want to continue making money off it. Because they can't do it on their own.
This is
so these nations, they need us.
Exactly. Salakia, bro, Salakia.
They just won't admit it though, but they need us. You don't need them, man. They need us.
No, Salakia, bro. I didn't know you was finishing that point.
Oh, no, good.
Okay, Khan. This is a precept, and you got it, bro. This is Jeremiah 10:16. It says, "The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things."
Hold on real quick. That's Jeremiah 10:16.
Yeah, Khan. Let me read one more time. It says, "The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former, the inventor of all things."
Mm-hmm. Let's see real quick. Going to that former of all things.
So you seeing the inventor, man.
Yeah. It's a maker, right?
Yep.
It's a Yatzazar.
Yatzazar. Hey, that's a tough Hebrew name. Yatzazar.
Yeah. Yatzazar, maker, form, fashion, frame, divine activity of creation, original creation of individual and conception of Israel as a people.
Ooh. That Yatzazar Kazak.
Predetermined. Oh my God. Predetermined, preordained.
One more time. One more time.
It says predetermined or preordained. Come on now, man. Wow.
So it says Jacob is the former. Yeah. It says the portion of Jacob is not like them. So we're not like the other people. We can't. This verse right here shows us that equality does not exist in the eyes of the Most High, man. Equality, everybody doing the same thing. No, it doesn't exist. He said that a certain people is not like them, the other people. So how can you answer that? That's got to be answered, man.
Right. Exactly. Because Jacob is the top nation of the earth, period. Now, Edom is the lowest nation on the totem pole. So, there is a nation that Yahweh Bashim love. And that's Jacob. You can't change what the Bible say, man.
I got you, bro.
Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy 32:9. And it says, "For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance."
See? So we are Yahweh's portion, man. Real quick, go into the word portion real quick.
Khan, I got you.
And we are Yahweh's portion, man. We are his people. That don't include everybody else, man. It only includes Jacob. That's it.
That's kalach. Kalak,
Mm.
Kalaquak, or yeah, Kalaquak, CHALAQAH, Qualaquak.
Mm.
Can you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. It's Kalak. Yeah. Kalak.
Yeah, Kalak.
Yeah.
Is that CHALAQAH?
Yeah.
Okay. Man, it's crazy how we just spell Hebrew and it's not even that. I mean, it's crazy. Sometimes it'd be easier to spell Hebrew.
Yeah.
For real, I mean, not can't wait till we just speak it fluently, man. That's gonna be a beautiful day.
Oh yeah.
But the word there for is kalak. It says portion, share, part, territory. Ooh.
See. So we are.
Ooh.
We are his possession. We are his chosen portion, his chosen possession. Period.
Wow.
And going to the word lot.
Okay, Khan.
Cabal.
Yeah, cabal. That's where you get Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Cabal means lot.
Territory. Company.
It says cord, rope, territory, band. So it means the same thing. It means the same thing as portion.
Yeah.
It's just another way of saying portion.
Mm-hmm.
Measures, band, cord, portion, lot, part, region. Just like if you just like that right there when it says territory, that proves that this ain't for everybody because what happens when you cross over on somebody else's territory? What is it called? When you call
it's called
exactly. You trespassing on somewhere you're not supposed to be. That means
right.
trespass. To enter the owner's land or property without permission. So you don't have permission to be in. That's why the Lord told Esau, he said, what is thou to do to declare my statutes and my judgments?
Yeah.
That's what he told him. You have no permission. You're not in my territory. That's cold right there, bro.
And Amalek's don't have no permission but to be open in the land of Israel.
Yeah. And because they the ones that told us that we can walk through their land to get even water. So why are you even in our land then?
Right. That's hypocrisy, man.
That's hypocrisy to the exactly. Why are you in our land but we can walk through yours to even grab water? We told you we paid for it. We told you we give you money for it. You said we walk through the road, we walk through the highway, we won't slide off just in case you don't think no jakes to try to retreat and hide in your land. You wouldn't even let us buy water, man. You said you'll come against us in war, man. You supposed to be our brother, man. You're supposed to be our brother. Just like the Israelites that went to the Spartans, man.
Yeah.
The Lacedemonians, like if I'm pronouncing that wrong. You know, they went there and they brought up the brotherly covenant, man. What happened when we brought that up to you? You spit in our face, man. Now you spit in our face, and then you stole our identity, and then turn around and say that, now you wanna and then you stole our land, man. How dare you, Esau, man?
Man, hypocrisy. Will tell you that you shouldn't do something, but then you will turn around and do the same shit. Come on now, man. Come on now.
It says trespass. Commit an offense against a person or a set of rules.
So the set of rules is the statutes, laws, and commandments that he called broke. And he's still breaking it to this day.
Yep. Still breaking them. So you trespass, man. Alright. The Lord said his inheritance is Jacob. So you nations can't trespass on the territory of the Lord and try to say, bring me in this territory. It's not your territory. That's why he separated the sons of Adam.
Right.
And he set the bounds of the people according to the nation of Israel, man. Our lot was first. We belong to him. Just like the Lord can't steal, man. He's not trying to steal you guys, man. You don't belong to him. The Lord cannot take what does not belong. You belong to him in slavery, but you can't take he can't take you onto his inheritance, man.
Right, because it says that he will not give his glory unto another.
Yep. And adoption is just us coming back to, we're the same bloodline, but it's an adoption. It's a formal adoption because we were cast off. Adoption means to buy back, to receive back. So we've been received, not like the modern day adoption where you adopt somebody that's not your blood. You know, that could happen in the ancient world too, because but in the same point you say, look, that we're being adopted back in a way of we being brought back to the Lord in fullness, because we're a bloodline is being brought back, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're able to receive the inheritance that a son would receive, because we are that bloodline. We can receive it by bloodline.
Now, did not the prodigal son did he not get adopted back to his father?
Come on, I'll get it real quick for you, bro. Go ahead and speak.
All right, man. So we were bought back, man, by who, man? By Yahweh's blood.
I'll open it in here. Salaki. I'm gonna open it in the blue letter. All right, it's 11. All right. This is the book of Luke 15 and verse 11. And it says, a certain man had two sons. And what's those two sons? That's two sons. Those two sons represent the two nations of the northern and the southern tribes. All right? Those two sons represents those two northern southern tribes. And this now can tie into also us coming back to the truth, because we all fell off. It wasn't just one son that kept the truth just because Judah kept the truth. You know what I'm saying? Judah, Benjamin, Levi was the son that was there. That's why when the northern tribe was being grafted back in, the son felt so mad. That was Judah, Benjamin. That's why it says he shall take away the envy from Ephraim. Yeah. Go ahead, bro. You know where I was going.
Yeah, and Judah is still upset, still mad that Ephraim and the rest of the tribes and the rest of the tribes of the northern kingdom has been adopted back.
That's why they say the northern kingdom, that all the tribes are black. That's that old spirit.
Yeah.
That's that very spirit that was back then that was saying, you out of there. We kicked y'all out. Y'all ain't Israelites no more. Y'all over there worshiping the bull. We ain't like y'all anyway. I can see it now. I can hear Jake, man. I can hear Jake. Like I was there, man.
Yeah, and because when they went into the Assyrian captivity, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi were happy as hell. And then they went into slavery in Babylon.
Yep. So what did it profit? That's why it says, just like it said in the Apocrypha, what glory is in thy father's shame, man? You know, what glory do you glory in something that's in your family doing bad? You know, you can't glorify in that too much. Even if you don't like them that much, you be like, damn, yeah, I never mess with them anyway. But you can't glory more than somebody that never really knew, unless they were a real demon, you know. But if it's somebody that was like in your family or they wasn't that mean to you at all, you ain't gonna glorify something bad happened to them more than somebody that don't know them, man.
Right.
So in the same point, we shouldn't have been that happy about. That's still our brother, man. Our brother went into slavery. Yeah, they were off, but they were counted as heathen men. That's why it says after the first and second admiration, you count them as a heathen. So we said, look, they in idolatry, good for them. Which, hey, they were into idolatry, and they caught their issue. The Lord dealt with them, but we didn't get it no better because we jumped into the same soup pot they did, man.
Yeah.
So why were we talking shit?
That's why I say, Isaiah say, even in doing the idols, right? Even in doing the idols, let them alone.
Yep, let them alone. Don't do nothing to them.
Right.
It says, and the younger of them said to his father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me. And he divided unto them his living. Because what happened? The Lord divided the nations with Jeroboam and Rehoboam. So it's fully divided. So he divided the nations. He divided the spoil between two tribes, between two regions, which you had Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that stayed. You had a few of the tribes that, you know, in the marriage, families, you know, it was the large logistics. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi stayed where here. Then you had the northern tribe with Ephraim at the top, going on down. Issachar, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, all the tribes, all the northern tribes stayed. And then you said what? And he divided unto them his living. Let's see what the word living means. You see how we done switch gears, bro?
Right.
Hey, it's beautiful though. We ain't never jumped into this subject, man. Nah, we didn't have nothing to go into either. So the word is bios.
Life. Life extensively, serious stuff of life. Well, good.
Yep. Life. What is life? Didn't he say that? What did it say that we set before you today? What? Life and what? Life and death. So this truth is life. So he divided life. He divided the truth, and not the truth. It was among the whole tribes, but in the point of them, the inheritance is what? All the 12 tribes of Israel, because that's what's going to be the kingdom of heaven. It says they belong unto you, what? The 144,000 out of the 12 tribes of Israel, man.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the inheritance. And it says, for the Lord's portion is his people, Salakia. That's going back to Deuteronomy. It says bios. It says, and not many days after the young son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country. Because what? They went into slavery. And there wasted his substance with riotous living. That's why we went out. When you go into these other nations, riotous living is you going off into these philosophies. You living that life, man.
When they came over here, they had it in their mind to keep the law, but they didn't.
Yeah, totem poles and shit.
Yeah, so they went up, so they did what? Right.
Yeah, it wasn't talking about clubbing. It wasn't talking about clubbing. When it says riotous living, let's look into it. Riotous living means wild, man. That means you was out there. You weren't living according to the laws. That everything, because if there's no law, there's no sin.
Right.
So the law, if the law is written, if you do something that's not in the law, you're not sinning. So if you're doing something that's not written in the law as you ice cold sinning, you ain't sinning. So it's not taught. It's saying everything is measured according to the law. So the actions were against the law. The life that they were living was not good with the law, man. Let me see. It says you go down, Salaki, bro. And that's how Jake be. Jake gets some little money, he out of there.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, Jake. You know what, Jake, man. Look, Jake could do some outrageous thing. I'm talking about give Jake. Look what Jake. Look, MC Hammer brought a solid gold fence, a damn gate that said Hammer Time. Nigga, what?
And what did that popular?
Nah. The word there for riotous is astos. Asotos, which means dissolutely, profligately. Man, I gotta look up both those.
Let's see.
I'm gonna look up one. You look up the other. You got the profligately.
Hold on, real quick. Let me see.
It's PRO. I can spell it for you if you need it. PRO. FLI. GAT.
Okay. Got it.
You got it, bro?
Yep. Recklessly.
Damn. Ooh. See? Hold on. Go. You must need, brother. Why? Okay, we went to the Blue Letter because I know the Blue Letter is a platform that gives you. They go into words. The deepest they gave you is this because they know Jake does not read, man. Because you know what, somebody that's we've been taught, you're gonna look up these words. They say they broke it down because they said we gave you the words to break it down that somebody that studied would know those words.
Right.
I didn't know those words, bro. I didn't really know into those words, but looking into those words, and I read that definition again and see how important it is to know those words.
It says, reckless, extravagant, or wasteful in the use of resources.
Damn.
Prodigal, irresponsible.
Look. So Jake was, and this was with the word and the truth.
Yeah, it was irresponsible, man.
Look, balling. Look. All I'm gonna do is, all I typed in was balling out of control. And look at the images. This is how Jake was living, man. Jake was just
Man, Dick was being a harlot.
yeah.
Being a harlot.
Jake was tripping, man. Just like Money Way with Mayweather. Just like he'll go buy $1 million of watches and be all that because that's how Jake was doing in wickedness, man.
Yeah.
That's how they were doing in wickedness. But you know, we're gonna do that in righteousness here in a minute. And then let me the word destitute meaning. It says lax or moral leniences. So they were lax. They were real easy going with that.
Yeah, they didn't they really didn't realize what they had.
Yeah.
They lost it.
Yeah. So Jake was living life, man. So that's what took place. So now we come in a time where everything is being restored back to us, and we've been given the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to redeem ourselves in the spirit, where because Yahweh Shai is redeeming us, man. That's why he gave us back the truth to be able to speak it to Jake, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So let me finish this precept out. If you got anything else, bro, I think we covered it, man. You know, I think we covered it. We ain't even jumping to where we were going to go in the ride. I got a few more precepts, but
Go back to Luke real quick.
Con. This is the book of Luke, 15 and verse 13. And it says, and not many days after the young son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country, and there wasted his substance with riotous living.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and it says, and when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in that land, and he began to be in want. And
So Jake didn't have what he needed, man. Right? He was thirsty. He was searching for for some type of support. See? So Jake went into what? Jake went into to Christianity, Islam, and all that, looking for some type of support, but he didn't find it.
Yep.
Wow.
And it says mighty. It was a strong famine.
Yep.
So that's like it says that the Lord's going to bring that famine again. It's not going to be a famine of bread or water, but it's going to be a famine of hearing the words of the Lord, man. You know, that's what it says. They're going to search to and fro for this word, which was that we're still going to have the word because we go out here, we push lessons out, we can dive. That's why when my scripture says, what freely shall ye draw out of the fountains of living water.
Yeah.
So we'll still have the fountain, but they won't have the excess because we draw water for them until the Lord draws with them, until they can go and draw themselves. That's why you build yourself up until the Lord takes over with you, man. Because then you can draw yourself. You don't have to have somebody go and draw the water for you. Because that's why it says in the Matthews where it says what? The foolish virgins. We don't go to the sellers and buy, man. You know, we won't. You gotta have your oil, man. That's what we're saying to these other people.
Yeah.
It says, and when he had spent all, there arose a mighty famine in the land. That it says that in that land, and he began to be in want. And he went and joined himself to a citizen of that country, and he went him into the fields to feed swine. So you go ahead, bro.
Oh yeah. So then he came in a citizen of where he went into captivity, man. Okay, and say and send him into the field to feed swine. Wow.
Unclean.
So this was said to be a monk and in the mind. Not it became unclean, man. And he was fain have filled his belly with the husk that comes with the husk that the swine did eat, and no man gave unto him. Mm.
Yep. That's why it says Lazarus. What did the rich man and Lazarus say? That he wanted the crumbs that fell off the rich man's table.
Yep.
See? You see how these scriptures all tie in, man?
Mm-hmm. So Lazarus, he became, so basically, he became a servant unto the rich man. He went to him for everything.
He desired the crumbs to fall. He wasn't just outside of his table. He wanted the crumbs to fall from his table, just like you're going to slavery under Esau today. You going to Esau's corporation. Jake want to move up. That's you saying that you want to get the crumbs that fall from Esau's table. You ain't gonna get the company. You can't go to a job and you work to be an owner of the company. There's few jobs that you get to do that. There's few jobs you get to walk in there and say, I can work my way to owning the whole company. No, you got to work that. Hold on. Yeah. So you can't work your way up to that top. So you can only work your way to a certain level. Then you'll be able to accept it. So that's the same thing Esau with Jake. You can work in the company, but you're saying, let me get the crumbs that fall from your table. That means let me get the little bit of money that comes off the top of your company and makes. That's what it is. If you get a paycheck, you're getting the crumbs from a company. You get the total after it. After the company pays the bills, they pay the employees. But the company keeps the majority of the money. They don't pay. Sometimes they don't pay out more than what they make, man. If you're doing that means you're not making any profit.
Exactly. So Jake is basically getting the leftovers of what's left.
Exactly. That's it. So man, that's it, bro. If you got anything else, man, I think that gets it.
Hey, Jake, man, we are the prodigal son. We are coming back to our father, the house, his son.
Yeah.
His
Yeah,
son, his brother, Yahusha.
Kind.
Right? So we were unclean. Right? We were following in the ways of the heathen. Now we have woken up to the spirit of power of Yahusha. Right? And the heathen, they are mad because we're not dancing to their tune. And they don't like that, right? Because when we are dancing to their tune, they are comfortable with that. But they're not in comfort right now, see? And they won't be in comfort real soon, man, because it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get worse for them. So we get to the end of Esau's rule, right?
Yep.
Y'all know Nero, he burned down Rome, he blamed Jacob for it.
Yep.
Esau, he blamed Jacob for the shit he's doing.
Exactly.
So, man, this is the accuser of our brother, man. That's all he's doing. He's just mad, that's all.
Yeah, he's mad.
He's throwing a temper tantrum, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
He's a kid, man.
He's a kid getting ready to be in punishment.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, all right, mate. You got anything else, bro? I know he saw messing with the connection, man. You hear me? You hear me out? Hold on. Alright, hold on. Alright, we're gonna end it out, man. So yeah. Hey, that's it. Hey, with that, we're gonna give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makar Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makar Shalom, Akim, keep faith. Shalom.
Shalom.